This is a very, very high level matchup, even though it's short notice, right? Rob Font originally lined up to fight Song Yadong, and Cory Sandhagen was slated to fight, Usman Nurmagomedov, right? So definitely unique stylistic switch ups for both fighters, but I think that this lent us a really, really fantastic bout because you kind of got the new versus the old in terms of MMA skill sets. And I want to assess the old first. Rob Font, classic pressure, jab, length, pressure. I'll say that again because pressure is a big component of that. Cory Sandhagen is all about angles, stances, high level MMA, brother, right there in terms of mixing everything up together. Can the old school MMA style that is more focused on one or two martial arts, can it still find its place to defeat the martial artist who is incorporating 4, 5, 6 martial arts all into one? What do you think?
Now, I'm not saying the old adage is true that Father Time is dead, Derek, but this is seriously one of those moments where Rob Font needs to kind of branch out. We've seen the evolution of Cory Sandhagen grow and grow and grow, and this guy's always molding and changing, but I just don't think there's a shot. We've seen time and time again where this kind of style of fight has had its downfall. Mm-hmm. You stick to your guns. You know, you're hard-headed, you're in there, you play by the way that got you to the championship. Rob Font, amazing guy. And he has power too, Derek. You said pressure, but homeboy also has power in that fight. But Cory Sandhagen, for some reason, he's one of those fighters. They always say you fight to the level of your opponent. Well, Cory Sandhagen, if you're below him, he is going to absolutely run through you. Sometimes he struggles with the the upper echelon. But if you're anywhere below what his skill level is, he's going to absolutely tear through you, put you in a washing machine, take your legs home, take your arms home, whatever it is, or knock you out too. Cory Sandhagen is a very dangerous man. Do you see Rob Font bringing in anything else to the table besides the classic boxing pressure and power?
No, and I don't think he needs to, man. I still think it's a winnable fight, even with just the tried and true style of Rob Font. He is by no means a rookie to this game that we play. The only real problem is can he keep that pace that he keeps with that nasty jab and that pressure, right? Can he keep that over the course of 5 rounds? Because he was slated to fight a 3-round fight. And on short notice, you stepped up and you said, I'll fight the Sandman over 5, which is a very bold thing to do, especially given the last couple of wins, man. The wins over Song Yadong and Chito Vera were very impressive for Cory Sandhagen. But this is the big kind of worry that I have. Sandhagen, obviously recency bias, we're really high on him, is more high than we were after the 2 losses to TJ Dillashaw and Petr Yan. But look at those names, right? I think what it comes down to, man, is when he finds somebody who is not going to evolve over the course of those 5 rounds, he's going to take the path of least resistance. And it's almost crazy because it's a nuance that is not unfamiliar. It's a pretty common strategy, but it's almost like people don't expect him to do it, right? Against Chito, he found he can get the takedown. So he's like, oh, well, I'm just going to keep taking you down because you're not going to be able to defend it, right? Rob Font has some sick jiu-jitsu too. We know Cory Sandhagen probably has a grappling edge. I would say that for sure. He said it himself. He's like, when these guys think they can start edging me out a little bit on the feet, well, now I have the wrestling to take them down and to mitigate that. So now you have so many things to think about. I'm going to overload you with data, and then I'm just going to pick my shots accordingly. Does that become a problem for Rob Font, given that we've seen him struggle against some fighters who are not the most dimensional? But more important than that, man, he's fighting a big, tall guy in Cory Sandhagen. The jab is not to be used in every scenario. If that jab goes away, do we see one-way traffic here for Cory Sandhagen?
Ooh, I don't know about one-way traffic, Derek, but I am leaning towards that route. I'm curious to see if Rob Font's able to put Cory Sandhagen on the back foot, have him feel the power, have him feel the respect, gain a little respect for that power, maybe cut down the tree a little bit, front leg kick, something to disrupt that flow, if you will, disrupt that flow of Cory Sandhagen, because once he gets in that flow state, brother, he is rolling through, and we could see one-way traffic, so I'm not holding out on it. But I do think Rob Font has some tricks in that sleeve to be actually able to pull out and stop him going forward.
One of the things that's also bothered me about Rob Font a little bit is just we see he always has his moments, right? But he always kind of finds a way, at least as of late, to have the moments and be winning the round and then take a massive back step in the round, right? In terms of Chito Vera, Jose Aldo getting dropped just at the last moment in the round. So I really don't think durability is the big thing. I know that we were trying to hammer that a couple weeks ago. Oh, does he have a chin anymore? Listen, the man could still eat a shot, right? Rob Font is still here in game to do it. I don't think that's going to be the problem with Cory Sandhagen, man. I think the real problem that you're going to have is like, can I find my read? How long does it take for Rob Font to find his read?
Ooh, Ooh, that's a good question. I think it's going to take 2.5 rounds because of the evolution of Cory Sandhagen. He's going to be mixing things up. So finding the read that's true versus biting on a fake and ended up in a trap, I think is going to be more the problem. But at the same time, Derek, I say that with not the most confidence because Rob Font is a very intelligent, especially boxer, nonetheless fighter. So if he's able to come in and move some things and put Cory Sandhagen in a spot where he's able to control him, I think he looks good. Don't get me wrong. I do think Cory Sandhagen's the better fighter, but it's not always the more well-rounded, better fighter who wins these fights.
That's absolutely true. And the other kind of point that I want to make here is that I think for Cory Sandhagen, right, we could talk all the praises about him, but at the end of the day, he has to put up numbers in order to be effective. Rob Font does have that power, as you mentioned earlier. He catches you in that pocket, he can put you away. Does Cory Sandhagen ever really enter the pocket for a prolonged amount of time, though?
No, not at all. And I'm glad you're saying the thing about keeping the pace and keeping the pressure on, because if we end up in another TJ Dillashaw situation where Cory Sandhagen has the more power, but Rob Font is just at range, peppering him all day, keeping him loose, keeping him at bay, who knows? I mean, we have seen damage reign supreme, at least as of late, in the judging scorecards, but you never know. You never want to leave it to the judges, especially if you're not the one getting off and you don't have the volume to support you.
Yeah, that's right. I think this is going to be a really, really fun fight right here, man. And I've been really torn because I can totally see a Cory Sandhagen 5-round clinic in terms of back and forth fight moments here, but he runs away with it with the decision. The TKO only lends itself to me over that accumulation of damage. But that's the thing is that Rob Font, we've seen it. Look at he went 3-5s. Cody Garbrandt, Jose Aldo, Chito Vera. He got beat up in 2 of those losses pretty bad, but he never once quit on himself. And you can't imagine at 140 pounds, you get an extra 5 pounds. You can't imagine my man's going to quit on himself. So I'm going to rock with Cory Sandhagen. I really do think that we're looking at the Cory Sandhagen of 2021 that had a lot of hype on him. That was like, yo, this is the next champion right here. I think we're back at that guy with a little more experience on top of it. Give me the minus 270 favorite Cory Sandhagen, and I'm not for that you guys have to tell me on this one, but I do like the decision here at plus 175. How do you see it?
I like the decision as well, Derek. I'm also taking Cory Sandhagen. I think this is going to be a lot closer to fight, and that's why I'm rocking with the decision. But quick question, do you see any value in that plus 600 sub? I see it being sneaky, but I didn't want to actually place my prop lock on it.
I do, but I don't at the same time because Rob Font is a guy who does have some good grappling chops himself and has not been submitted since once upon a time, man. I believe it was Pedro Munoz many years ago. Back in 2017 was the last time my man got submitted. So I don't see it, but you can never downplay the Sandman, man. Very multidimensional.